Good morning. I am just waiting to see. I think I've changed the settings so that this is a public rather than just me being able to see this. Yeah, so hopefully you can see me. How are you today? It's Sunday, so maybe your energy is a little bit kind of chiller than the rest of the week. I know that's certainly true for me. It's quite foggy outside and misty, so it feels like a day for just kind of taking it easy. I've started making Christmas cards even. I'm feeling so inspired ahead of everything in the festive season. I just, I'm going to get all of that out of the way. Early, actually. I'm usually late with all that stuff, so. Anyway, today I thought we'd have a little look at. So, Joseph Pilates wasn't just a proponent of you doing exercise to keep you healthy. He had this whole idea of a complete system of personal hygiene, of sleep, of getting plenty of fresh air and sunshine, a whole system for whole body health that he wanted you to be encompassing. So, excuse me, he wrote two books about it, which are really quite interesting to read and hear the words that he used to describe what he was doing. He didn't call it Pilates, he called it controlology. His method of the whole body health, which was based on what was going on at the time, this physical culture that was just had taken over Europe. And again, it was people about really realizing that health was about not just one aspect of your life, but about everything together. So how all your little habits were building into a picture of whole health. So yeah, today I wanted to look at using a ball to do some sort of what I do every morning is actually dry brushing, and this is one thing that Joseph Pilates also suggested, was just taking a dry brush over all parts of your body to get the circulation going and for lymphatic drainage, to get all the dry blood skin cells off, and just to keep you really feeling good. Morning, Rod. Nice to see you. So we're going to do a similar thing, not quite brushing, but we're going to use the ball to kind of do a similar thing for the whole body. So it doesn't matter really what kind of ball you use. Again, nothing too hard because you don't want to feel like you're pulverizing yourself. I've got this kind of squishy, spiky ball that I like to use. So once you've found that, go ahead and come up to standing. And we're actually going to start with the feet and work up. So we want that kind of circulation to be taking the blood up to our heart. So if you start with the feet, you might need to find something to get your balance on, but you're just going to start a little bit of like circular tapping right along the whole of the foot. And we're going to stick with one side. So we're not going to do both sides at once. You're just going to start with this circular tapping through I'm going with my right foot. I want to get all around that right foot, toes, outer edge of the foot, top of the foot, the ankle, the lower leg. Start working your way up and just doing like this little circular tapping motion all around the calf area. The knee, put your foot on the floor now to give you some more support so that you can tap a little circular. So you can imagine that in the morning, this would be a brushing up towards the heart. I'm just tapping. Make sure you get the whole of the leg. So it's easy to kind of miss out some of the back parts of the leg, the outer edges, get into the inner edges, and then around back into your fleshy bum area, front of the pelvis, going along the side, along the belly, along the lower back, along those ribs, the bottom ribs, mid ribs, See if you can get underneath that shoulder blade. You might have to use your other hand. And then make your way to the front, get up to those upper ribs, up beneath the collarbone, onto the actual shoulder blade behind you. It's that little circular motion, just gently tapping, coming up through the hand, and then the wrist, and then the forearm, and the elbow, the upper arm. Go along, just gentle around the neck, that circular tapping, front and back of the neck, side of the neck, side of the jaw, just around the face, the skull, the ear, just gently here, no big hard tapping. Don't want to shake your brain around too much. And then just place the ball down for a moment. Notice how that side compares to the other and how it feels. If it feels any more kind of alive compared to the other side. Notice just a little bit more invigoration compared to the side you haven't done. And then we're just going to do some brushing with your hands. So starting again at the foot, just brushing down through the leg, through the knee, through the upper thigh, through the front and the back of the pelvis, the side of the body, upper part of the chest, the shoulder, get the whole shoulder blade if you can, the arm, upper arm, elbow, forearm, and again, just sticking with the same side, the neck. It's as if you have dust that you want to brush off your hair, your face. Just make sure you get that all down, and then just give that side a nice little shake. Whole arm, whole leg, maybe even that side of the head, if that's possible for you. And then again, just take a moment to notice what's that like. So you can imagine if you're doing this every day, every morning, that, you know, because you're having to take your ball or your brush to these different parts of your body, that was kind of one of his ideas too, is that you were moving in all these different directions that maybe first thing in the morning you wouldn't usually be doing. So that's another benefit of doing this kind of thing. Let's do the other side. I'm going to start with just tapping out the foot, nice circular movements. Get that circulation going, starting to encourage the blood flow up to the heart. Around the ankle, make sure you're getting all parts of the foot and the ankle, lower leg. So around the calf, front and back, around the knee, around the thigh. So make sure you're getting outer thigh, top of the thigh, inner thigh, back of the thigh, really getting into all of the areas that are easy to miss. Inner crease of the thigh and the outer. It's getting around to that big bum muscle at the back, lower back, the belly, sides of the rib cage. Just gentle, circular tapping through the top of the chest, through the bottom of the shoulder blade, top of the shoulder blade, top of the shoulder, collarbone, down into the arm, so upper arm, elbow, forearm, and then the hand. Coming back up, just gently around the neck, kind of maybe going down to encourage the lymphatic drainage through here especially. Pushing down, and then gentle around the jaw, around the face, around the head. Ooh, tapping your brain. Wake it up. Okay, and then just place the ball down for a moment. Notice that side now. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit more lively as well. And then we'll just start with our brushing on this side. So starting down on the leg, the foot, the lower leg, the knee, the upper leg, the front of the pelvis, back of the pelvis, front of the belly and the back, and then coming up through the chest, the shoulder, the arm, side of the face, side of the neck, the head, the hair, get that hair moving, and then shake out the leg and the arm. I don't know about you, but that feels really, really nice. You can feel like all of my cells really feel more alive and more kind of just aware of everything around me. So if you just close your eyes for a moment and just kind of notice what's behind you, see if you can really take your awareness to what's behind you without having to look. So there's all these little sensors at the back of our neck, back of our head that tell us what's going on temperature-wise, space-wise. Notice the sides of your body. So you've got your arms and your hands there to keep you kind of balanced here. Then notice the front. This is where our eyes live, which really give us a lot of feedback about where we are in space. So see if you can now kind of start to shift your weight over and lift up through your right foot, keeping the eyes closed. And we'll see what it's like to balance here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then place that foot back down, keeping the eyes closed. Hopefully you didn't lose your balance and fall over too much. Reset yourself, both feet are on the floor, and then we're just going to think about shifting the weight over to the right side. To lift the left foot up, make sure your eyes are closed for this, so you can try your balance for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on this side. You can open your eyes. Notice what that is like with the your balance this morning, and then we're going to take our ball again. So hopefully you haven't, I was just seeing what Rob was saying. He's saying the brushing is good. We're just going to work on the feet here with the ball now. So we've done our brushing, but now we're just going to really make the brain aware that our foot is there. So put the ball of your foot on top of the ball and just start to roll back and forth. So you can let the whole leg move, really feel this movement side to side of the ankle. Your heel is staying down. Hopefully you can see my foot there. Your heel is staying down and you're getting the side to side movement. Really feel that ankle moving. And then we're going to isolate that a little bit. So it's going to become a little bit smaller. You're going to hold your hand onto the top of your thigh and really let your knee try to stay pointed forward so that you can really start to get that movement through just the ankle joint and not through the rest of the leg. This might be smaller. It might feel a little bit more challenging. Notice what that's like for yourself. We're rolling from the big toe over to the little toe and back again. So we've got these metatarsals underneath where you're rolling. They're like the knuckles of your hand. Those little bones spread out and give us the ability to stay upright and balanced. So you can think about those bones that you're rolling over. Come to the arch of the foot and just start to shift your weight so that you're kind of putting all of it over the ball. So you can keep your toe and your heel from touching down, and think about kind of spreading that whole arch over the top of the ball. So you're just kind of really feeling the shape of the ball as compared to the arch of your foot. Just noticing here too, you've got actually an arch that goes this way along the inner part of your foot. You've got another little arch that goes the same way on the outer part of your foot, and then an arch that goes this way or your metatarsals, those bones. So you've got these real structures of support. If you think about it, there's not much surface area that we stand on with our feet, so we need these structures to keep us balanced and stable. come along, put your heel onto the ball and plant the ball of your foot down. And make sure that your other foot is firmly planted too, just to keep you stable. You're going to start to push the ball down as if you were kind of sticking if you had a nail underneath your foot and you were sticking that nail into the ball, and then let it go. So kind of really sending the ball, your heel of your foot down into the ball and then releasing. It's almost as if you wanted to drag the ball back toward you, kind of a feeling. You're not going to actually move your foot, but it's this feeling like the sole of your foot might get a little bit longer because you were kind of pulling it towards you and then releasing. So we're just making the mind, the brain aware of our heel of our foot, because again, this is an area that we don't often think about, the heel, but it also provides us with balance and support. So once you've done that a few times, just start to roll through the whole of the foot, outside edge, mid foot, inside edge. My ball has these nice spikes on it, so it gives me lots of feedback as to what my foot is feeling like today. Quite sensitive, I notice. It feels good to be rolling through every part. Sometimes your fingers get involved with this, which I think is quite funny. They want to feel it too and feel it moving. And then just roll that to the side for a moment. You can even look down at your foot and notice that maybe the color has changed. Maybe the shape has just changed a little bit. I just noticed that for myself, that it's quite pinky and looking more alive than the other one. So again, just close your eyes here for a moment. And now think of all the different parts that we rolled through: the inside edge, the outside edge, the arch, and the heel. Think of that all spreading out beneath you. Remember back to yesterday when we thought of that foot creating roots into the ground. And now peel your left heel away. Keep those eyes closed. See if you can balance for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just notice if that felt any different to what we tried before. You know, after just making the brain a little bit more aware of how beautiful that structure is of balance and support, how can that have an effect on what we're doing balance-wise? So we'll do the other side. You're going to place your heel down, place the ball of your foot onto the ball, and just start to have a little roll side to side. You can let the whole leg just go with you, first of all. Feel how it's kind of turning your thigh bone in its socket and the pelvis. And then try to keep that leg still. So you're going to make that movement a little bit smaller and really isolate it into that ankle joint. So your knee stays pointing forward, and it's quite maybe a challenging movement just to make it small and into the ankle. And then start to roll into the inner arch of the foot and shift your weight over a little bit, so you can think about this arch melting and spreading over the ball. You think about that little arch on the inside, the arch on the outside, and the arch that goes across to create this beautiful structure of support to keep you upright and stable. So we're appreciating both sides of the body. And then come on to the heel. Plant your other foot down nice and firmly, so you can have this idea of driving a nail down or elongating and stretching out the bottom of your foot by pulling the ball back towards you. See what works for you, which idea kind of gives you this feeling of stretching out and working through the heel of the foot. Just do that a few more times. You can feel that kind of gets my thigh activating as well and switching on. And then we're going to roll through the whole of the foot. So inner edge, mid foot, outer edge, just feeling through the whole thing. But don't forget the heel, roll on through that too. It feels a little bit different to my left foot. I'll spend a bit more time in certain areas as compared to that left side. And then just roll that away. Close your eyes for a moment. Ooh, now that left foot's really tingling. I can feel that. I'm going to try my balance on this side. So lifting up through my right foot and trying to balance for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then place that foot back down. That's feeling quite good. I don't know about you, but I feel ready to kind of sit down here now, focus my mind a little bit more on what's going on in my brain, kind of feel my body really the connection really well at the moment. So find your little cushions, whatever you need to make yourself nice and comfortable on the floor here in seated. Unless you want to be in a chair, that's absolutely fine. Make yourself feel as comfortable as possible in this position of seated. So I quite like to have my hands resting on the tops of my knees. That's just where they feel most comfortable. So my elbows can be heavy and my shoulders can just rest down. Begin to just let the eyes close down again. And since we did all that brushing, all that rolling, all that balance work, it should now be a little bit easier to take your attention to the inside of your body, to feel all the sensations, to start to look to the crown of the head and feel what's going on there. Is there any particular new level of awareness that you have, of any tingling, of any pain, lack of pain? When you're taking your ball and you were tapping around, maybe you're now more aware of different parts of the head than before when you've done this to the previous 20 days that we've been working on this body scan. And just noticing as you scan down through the face, past the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, what do you notice, if anything, is different? Maybe it's just a heightened level of alertness and awakeness as compared to your usual 7:30 a.m.s. Scan on down through the sides of the head, past the ears, down through the back of the head, back of the skull, the base of the neck, through the back of the neck, front of the throat. Notice if now you're maybe a little bit more aware of where your head and your neck are in space and how they feel. Is there any heaviness, lightness, pain, lack of pain, tingling through any part of your head and your neck? Then scanning down through the shoulders, front and back, the tops of the arms, down through the elbows, the forearms, and through to the hands. Notice that my fingers feel quite aware of what's going on around me at the moment. And then scanning down through the chest. We did some tapping through the abdomen and the belly, just being aware of any new sensations through the front of your abdomen and belly. And then scanning around back through the spinal column. So we didn't actually talk about moving the spine, but through our different movements, we were moving the spine around. Just take your awareness and notice any new sensations there. Through the upper back, the mid back, and the lower back. Down through your buttocks, making contact with the floor. Noticing any heaviness, any lightness, any new sensations, or maybe they're just the sensations that you feel from day to day. We'll scan on down through the thighs, through the knees, through the lower legs, and through to the feet, which mine feel really alive and kind of tingling and sparkling at the moment. So notice what that feels like for you. And then begin to take your awareness and your focus now to settle and to calm into the breath. So we can take all of our awareness and all of our attention onto the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. And for 5 minutes of silence, you can count the breath, or you can just notice the texture, the length, the feeling of your breath coming in and coming out. Maybe just seeing what works for you today. We'll begin that 5 minutes of silence now. And just starting to bring your awareness back into the space around you. So taking your awareness from the inside back out to any sounds that you're hearing, anything that you're noticing, maybe textures of what you're wearing on your legs. Take a couple of deep breaths, sighing out the air, and then just opening up your eyes, ready to enjoy your Sunday. And yeah, just kind of keeping in mind, as you go through this week, what are some other aspects of your whole body health that you can start to think of incorporating those little tiny habits that'll build into this bigger aspect of change. So maybe it's adding in that dry brushing every morning. I do my dry brushing before I get into the shower, and I've done it every day for probably the last 5 years, and I just love it. It just gets you into that feeling of everything is being circulated. There's more of these practices in building this whole health, this whole body picture of health within my 10-week course, my 10-week program. So if you're interested at all, just wanting to share that with you, I'll be talking more about it this week. Really looking forward to getting it started first week of December. So anyway, I will be back here 7:30 tomorrow to start the week right, and hopefully I'll see you again too. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.